We got 4 bolts. 1, 2. Can't really see. There's that one there. And the 4th one's right there. Move the light so you can see. And that one there, it's going to need a wrench on the back side. There's a nut down there. This one here, they're all 12 millimeters. Already cracked them loose. So we're going to take those off. So there it is. Just pull the bolts out. Just pulls off like that. Nothing comes flying out. Everything's good the way it sits. That's your water pump. Obviously my belt. Pretty loose. Oh yeah. Wobbly. She's toast. She's gotta be toast. Never done one, but we'll see. Got one bolt there. Another bolt there. Slotted. You can put more tension on it if you want. I suppose if your belt gets a little loose. So I would probably recommend replace the belt since you're here before you put it back together. Probably a good idea. I'm gonna loosen these 2 bolts up, pull her out. I'm sure those are also 12 millimeters. And pull her off, get back. Yep, just them 2 bolts. Obviously there's coolant in there, but gasket sits in there. I just got this little flathead, kind of put it in there just to help wiggle this out of the hole here. Should come apart just like that. You can see the whole fucking thing just wobbly. I just take the belt off, leave it on, do whatever you want. So you get the water pump out. Pulling the headers off. Yeah, 3 bolts up top. Sorry, nuts. 3 nuts. 2 nuts on the bottom. 3 nuts on the bottom. 1/2 inch. 3 on top of the socket. 1's on bottom with a 1/2 inch wrench. And they look all rusted and hard, but you know what? I didn't even hit them with anything, and they turned real nice. So I want to do those and get that off. Putting the new water pump back in. Let's get it sideways. Get the belt on like that. And all I do is pull her up, slide her in. Now you can spin it for as tight as you want the belt. I'm not really sure what you want for looseness, but I'll have to check that out. You don't want them tight. You want them to be able to move. Too tight, yank down on this, not good. So this was kind of set in the middle. This one's tighter. So you want it to be able to spin nice. I just tighten up 2 bolts, 12 millimeters. Sure it's got some slack. You don't want to pull on it. Now we're going to put the recoil on. Recoil's right here. Slide it on, put all the bolts back in. I'm going to do that. Alright, so recoil's back on. Just get it close. Get all your bolts in. 1, 2 on the bottom. Got 1 there. Get that one. And that one. And that one. Get them all started so they're all holding, and then just go around and tighten them all in. And that should be that. So I was going to tear it down, and then I got thinking maybe my spark plugs were just fried. I never changed all the spark plugs, but I knew the water pump took shit on me, so I didn't do that. So I got hook up the compression tester, Just regular Bosch. Well, it's 50 bucks. If you need one, 50 bucks, they're good. Good for everything. Snowmobiles, four-wheelers, car. But anyways, I want to test compression. I didn't want to rip it apart, and I already went through and I got about 115 to 120 on each one, which I don't have a book for the specs, but I thought they were supposed to be about 125, probably plus or minus 10%, which give me 12 and a half. So I'm about 115, 120, but that's here. That's with, you know, if you can see, I got no exhaust on, no carbs on, so she's sucking and pulling without anything else. So I'm gonna hook that up. I'm gonna go through each cylinder. I'm gonna give her a few yanks and see what kind of pressure we build up. I tested it, so I'm close to 120. I'm trying to look it up, see where I'm at. But we'll give her a few yanks, show you what I'm doing. All right, got her hooked up. Zero. Give her a few yanks. We'll take a peek at it. At least build up enough pressure to fill the hose. 118, 120, damn near 120. All right, pull her off and hook her up the next one. See what that one pulls. All right, second cylinder, middle. See what we get. All right, 118, 120. Perfect. So they're about exactly the same. Let's try the last one. All right, last one. Let's hope we get another 120. Then I'm gonna look up the specs. Try and tell you the specs. I'm sure it's 120, 125. It's got to be a plus or minus some percent somewhere. Yeah, 118. They're within a one. So I'm gonna look up the specs, get back, let you know what they are. All right, so here's what I came up with. Got online, checked out some forums. Everybody's, no, 115, 110 needs a rebuild. It should run at 130, blah, blah, blah. Barely find anybody who knows exact specs. I found one guy, the 597cc XLTs should be at 120 is good. Now there's other people, gotta have her wide open throttle, this and that to hit the 120. I don't know. I did it right here on the bench. No exhaust manifold on, no carbs on, no drive belt. I mean, not even the best pulling situation. I had to hold it with one hand and yank on it. Still hit 120. So, as far as I know, everybody's got their own way of doing it. I did it just as she sits. I'm gonna put her back in. I'm happy with 120. I got new spark plugs. I'm gonna put it back in, hook everything back up, and I will do another compression test before I put spark plugs back in to see if it makes a difference, whether the exhaust is on, whether it's off, whether the drive belt's on, whether the carbs need to be on, whether you need to hold the gas wide open or not wide open, whether, you know, people say you should do it one when it's hot, one when it's cold. This is 2 days cold. It's been sitting here since last night. I wouldn't say it's cold, it's about 80 degrees outside, so it's 80 degrees. That's what we'll call it. room temperature. We did a test at room temperature, and we got basically 120. They were literally all at the same PSI, maybe one difference, but clutch side wasn't higher than water pump side, middle wasn't different. So I'll put it back in, hook everything back up, and we will check it again to see if any of that actually matters. But as far as this goes, took the recoil off, put a new water pump on. I took it out. I mean, maybe you should take it out every once in a while. I don't know. Clean the bay out. She's full of oil. Nasty shit. So I'm going to wipe that out. I'm going to put it back in. And we will do another compression test. See what we get. Motor's back in. Just set it back on the bolt holes. I went ahead and put these bolts in and just barely put the nut on the other side because you got to put the rubber washer in between the bracket and the sled body. So I just put both of those in, so the rubber mount there on the bottom, you can kind of see it, that one. That way I had it lined up with the washer and just barely threaded on, so you can still rock it. That way you can get your hands back here, do what you got to do. And now we're going to start putting it back together. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up, take the ball, slide it in sideways, spin the wire down until it goes through the groove. Depending on how big your fingers are, this might suck, so lift it up, slide it in, spin it upside down until you feel the opening for that wire. Shit, sorry guys, my hand's in the way because I got big ass fingers. Might take you a little bit, but do this part first. That way you got room. You put the oil line in first, you're gonna be fighting around it, and it kind of suck. So let's see if we can get this. I'm kind of using the wire and push it down on it to try and spin it. Maybe one finger to hold the, one finger to hold the circle. Use your other finger to see, put it in. So we'll do that first. And then from here, you unscrew this bottom one. Maybe not drop it. Hold on to it. Slide the wire in, threads in. And get this little nut back on. It's a 10mm nut. So just thread that on like that with your finger until you can't either spin it. Try and hold the top one. You don't want to change the position that it was in. So hold the top little nut until the bottom one grabs, or at least gets seated nice. Then hold the top. So once you get it finger tight, you should be able so it's finger tight. Then you grab your 10mm and just kind of lock it up so it don't move, and that's how you get that sucker on. It's easy peasy. Alright, it's tight. Let's pull this bolt out. You're gonna lose oil again, obviously, so get yourself in a good position to pull that bolt out. It goes right here in the sniffle. What I would do, I just wiped out the bottom of it. So I'm gonna stick this down in here so I can catch whatever. Once this oil slides right on, here's your little clampy. Don't forget to put the clampy on. Grab pliers. Oh! Find the damn pliers. No, I just used it. Grab the clamp, pliers.
Where's Polaris?
In the house. get it over there. And bam, oil line's on. Okay. We're gonna hook up these wires. They only go one way. Obviously you can't put one end in another end. So slide that one in there. Not a lot of room to work in. This one. Get them all the way in there. I heard it click. So you want to get it in there so it clicks. Should be totally sealed. If anything, the way I took it off is I grabbed this little end here that comes out with the little pliers and kind of gave her a wiggle. So you can do the same. And that's it. We're going to hook up the fuel line. It just kind of actually goes right back to where it was. Slide it on. Another clamp. Grab pliers, pull the clamp down, make sure you're high enough. There's a little mark on the hose from before. Slide the fucker all the way down and put the clamp on there. So we're gonna hook up this, slide it on there, put the clamp, pull that over, and then this, I'm gonna go in here. I never move the spring, so everything should just go right in, slide right on. So you get it all on, get those two things on, grab your pliers, pull the clamps up. So next is a gray clip. Grab her here. Just slid right out. Should just slide right back in. Make sure it's nice and solid. So we're going to take the tri-plug. And what I would do is I would pull the heat shield back a little, plug all the metal clips in, and then slide the heat shield back over it. That way you know these are all connected for sure. You don't want to be guessing. So pull the heat shield back, connect them all, throw the heat shield over it. Same one here, the 2-pronger. Pull the wires out a little bit, hook the wires up, and then throw the heat shield over it. So, pull the recoil up. Let's get that out of the way. We'll do the handle last. Just set that in there. Screw the bolt in. Just get that off the ground. You need a wrench. It's part of your brake caliper, so but just get her all the way she's up, and we'll do that. At the end, pull the rope off, vice grips it, pull her through and retie it. And now we're gonna mount the bowler, washer, and the nut. Remember, these are 9/16. Definitely spin them on as far as you can with your hand. Before you gotta get in there with a little wrench. That's one side. Here's the other side, washer. Nut. I'd say don't drop these because probably won't get them back. Worst case scenario, if you do, take the other one off, go to your local hardware store, match them up. Pipe that on. Alright, grab your 9/16, tighten them up. Okay, we put those in the beginning. Don't forget to tighten those up. Small on each side. Top's 16mm, bottom's 18mm. Clutch side, use the 18mm wrench on the bottom, hold it, socket on top. Over on water pump side, this one you can actually get a 3/8 ratchet and a 18 underneath there, just perfect. And then a 16mm ratchet on top. I use the 1/2-inch drive. Tighten those up, and we'll move on to carbs after that. So we're gonna put the carbs in now. So I'll show you the one, and then just kind of repeat the process. If I can get my hands around this camera, I'm trying to get good angles for you. I usually put the front end in, push this in. The plastic box moves really easy, so it's not too big of a deal. Just make sure there's a little notch here. Make sure that's all the way up there. There's a bubble on the back of the carb that lines up with. Spin these. So this is straight up and down on the top. It's got to go right into that groove. That way everything's nice and sealed up. Push your carb in. So I'm going to grab the choke. Of course, shorter one is obviously on the short side, but stick it in there. Spin it a few. Hate the spring. Spring likes pushing me back out. Anyways, so that's in. No, I thought it was a 12 millimeter. Grab your 12 and just give her a good tightening. And tighten up this ring. Phillips. I like to put them in a spot where it doesn't take much to get to them again. Sometimes you get done, you put them in a weird spot, and you're just like, shit, son of a bitch. Kind of put them point at an angle. Up above the motor. You can usually access it pretty easy from above. Put the clamp on, then put the gas line on. The gas line's good and on. Make sure it's good and on. Alright, then you grab the vacuum line. There goes that one. Remember, vacuum line's on this side. It's a little nipple. This side of the carb. Slides on. Should be pretty easy. Grab the throttle that goes there. Drop her in. Then screw her tight. So we'll do that for the rest of the two. Alright, hook up the radiator hose. Should slide on. Oh, it's a pain in the ass to get off. Slide that on. Slide the clamp on. Clamp up, and then there's a little wire laying around here somewhere. I keep moving it. Been moving it all damn day. Of course, pin it between a screw. Oh, wire. Forget to plug it back in. There was a zip tie around it. Stick it on. Still got the angle of it. Just stick it there. Run a zip tie around it. And that's that. So you got all your carbs on. I haven't put the spark plugs back in. I'm going to do the compression test with the exhaust carbs intake on. So that's on. So we're going to put the exhaust on. And shit, we'll even put the belt on. Do the compression test. And hopefully you get the same results we did off the machine. You can do the recoil, pull it out, give it some slack, put a vice grips on there lightly, not enough to hurt it. Then untie this little homemade knot I got, run it back through and re-knot it. Alright, recoil's on. untied the knot, pulled it through, tied a new knot, heated it up a little bit. I don't know if there's any nylon left on the rope, but kind of heated it up to see if it would melt itself together like it kind of was in the beginning. We're going to slap the exhaust on now. 2 springs, 1 spring. We'll hook up the compression, see what happens. Alright, here it is, she's all back together. Exhaust on, carbs on. Alright, here we are, exhaust on, all back together. We're going to try the cylinder, do a compression test while in with everything hooked up. See if we get different readings. We were getting 119 on each one on the bench. Right there. Damn near 119. Same number we got before. Well, try the next cylinder. Just give me a second. I'm gonna hook this one up to the middle. So I got all the spark plugs out. Makes it a little easier to just rail into her. Put the air pressure out, back to 0. Now what I could get was 120 was good, so here we are, back at 0. Give her a couple yanks and we'll check it out. See where we're at. There we are again. 120 on the nuts. Middle. Alright, draw the last one. Well, they say 120 is perfect for the 600 triples, so that's what I've seen. Get back down to 0. So that's just everything hooked up, not giving it any gas, nothing. It's just straight pulling. All right, here we go. Last cylinder, back to 0. Here we are again. 119, 120. The nuts. So what I'm getting so far is it's cold, 2 days. Even on a bench with no exhaust, no carbs, no intake, versus in the sled, all hooked up. I got the same exact reading. You know, I don't know if I were to grab the throttle and pin her down, if that would give me a different reading versus, or I start it up for a few and then do a test after it's warm. If that, he runs.